I recently made a video which was about hobbies and red flags. It was a bit of a comedical video which seemed to blow up. But basically what happened was I was on Twitter, or X, which is the biggest single mistake I've ever made joining that site. God knows why I'm still on there. And a poll popped up that Twitter had been doing of what women found to be the most red flag hobbies that men had. And it sparked this massive debate. But while I was going through the comments, one of the things I noticed quite a bit was the amount of people who said that they had autism, or they had a fascination with trains due to autism, or there was a lot of those sort of comments. And obviously I found this quite interesting, so I wanted to make a video without getting myself completely cancelled and trying to understand, because I wanted to understand and learn a little bit more about it. Because when I was in school, autism wasn't there wasn't an assessment for autism. They weren't trained staff, so a lot of children sort of went misunderstood. And had a really tough time. And this was the 90s, so I went to school in the 90s. And compared to today, where I'm sure the system isn't perfect, but assessments tend to be done, and there is a little bit more help there. Obviously, I'm no expert, but that's what I've sort of looked at. So the thing for me was I wanted to educate myself on this. If you stayed around my channel for a while, I review train sets. I tend to have a bit of a laugh and a giggle, and we tend to have some fun. But sometimes you want to better yourself, because as life goes so fast, I'm hurtling through my late 30s now, and I'm aware of autism, but I don't really know much about it. And there is quite a lot of people who watch my content who are on a spectrum, I believe it's called. And so my first sort of thoughts were, after reading all those comments, that's what I would have a look at. And it turns out, while Googling it, I found, not that you can trust everything on Google, but I found there is a link there. There have been studies done, and there is a link between model trains as well, and autism. Obviously, as I say, the spectrum is wide, and I'm no expert, but I genuinely found this quite fascinating. And I've tried to sort of reply to the comments section in the last video, to the people who sort of said these things, because I'd like to know. I genuinely would like to know. This isn't just me trying to get some sort of views on the video. It's always nice to educate yourself in certain things, and this is one of the things that sort of popped up, and I thought, I'll give it myself a chance to have a look and look online and look at studies. Obviously, tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong, or if I'm being offensive. Obviously, it's kind of more ignorance than anything else. It's not something that I'm trying to do on purpose. But yeah, it is. I do find it interesting, and I think that with certain things, life goes so fast. We're so busy trying to do our own thing, and like for me, I run a business and I don't have a lot of time. But before I got another train set review up, I sort of wanted to have a look at this and see if I could understand a little bit more. And because it's fascinating to me, I've started sort of reading these things. So that's the end of me waffling on. So I'll get onto the bits that I've read, or that I've seen. And if anybody can tell me this is wrong, or better educate me in the comment section, that would be awesome. So here we go.
First we hydrate and then we educate.
So I'm going to read a little excerpt to hopefully help us understand a little bit more. It's called Circumscribed Interests. One of the common traits of autism is the development of circumscribed or narrowed interests in certain classes of objects or topics. Trains often capture the attention of individuals on the autism spectrum due to a variety of reasons, such as sensory interest in watching objects spin, the ability to organise objects into categories, the appeal of schedules and predictability, and the enduring interest in the features of train-like characters in video games or model trains. So you've obviously got like sort of Tom's Tank and model trains, model toy trains, those sort of things. Moreover, trains represent an order and structure which can be appealing to individuals with autism who may have a love for categorizing and organization. Obviously, trains have a range of data and information for individuals with autism who like to explore and learn, which can be comforting and engaging for them. So basically, what I'm taking from this is that there's a lot of sensory and interest, and I think it's calming, and it's predictable, so there's no real surprises, and they can get intrigued. And to be honest with you, this sort of makes sense from sort of a lot of the comments I see. Anything outside of the comfort zone seems to shock or seems to put the people on edge. Obviously, the spectrum is incredibly wide, so this isn't going to apply to everybody, and not everybody's going to narrow their interest to trains. But obviously, trains tick all the boxes. So you obviously got so many different types of locomotives in shape and size, and there's so much to learn about them. Then you've obviously got the predictable nature. So it's the same motion over and over. Trains en route. So if they go on a train, or you're riding a train, and it's a predictable experience. It's not, I suppose, like being in a car where it's very unpredictable compared to a train. So there's as I say, there's lots to learn, and especially I think when you're younger and you're growing up, sort of Thomas the Tank, where you got characters and they've got their roles, and they've got shapes and features, and it's very predictable in that respect. So I can sort of see that. The second excerpt sort of follows a little bit on from the first one. I think they could have been put into the same one, but hey, that's just me. So a predictable experience. Trains provide a sense of predictability and order that comforts individuals with autism. They run on a set schedule and follow a predetermined route, which can be reassuring for those who struggle with uncertainty and change. Additionally, the repetitive sounds and movements of trains may have a calming effect for some of those individuals with autism. And that's from the Railfan Depot blog. So yeah, pretty much covering what the first thing did, just breaking it down, I think, even simpler. But obviously in the comments, let me know, because I know there's quite a few people who have autism or on the spectrum who are on the channel, hence the sort of surging comments lately. I'm interested to know if this is true, because a lot of the time you read stuff on the internet which is sort of dumbed down, or for people like me who may not understand, and it could be wide of the mark, or basically not covering it enough. And I'm sure it's a little bit more in depth, or much more in depth than what this leads me to believe. But obviously this is just the sort of gist of things, to help the simple people like me understand basically why there's a link there. To be honest with you, as I was reading online, I could kind of see it, but I know a lot of people don't put two and two together in this day and age. So it's always nice to read it. And if you're like me, once you start reading into something, you want to know a little bit more, and hopefully I'll get to know a little bit more as we go along. So we have another excerpt here. So this is the last excerpt for the video. Sensory stimulation. So trains offer a unique experience for individuals with autism. The sights, the sounds and vibrations of a train can be both stimulating and soothing. Some individuals may find comfort in the feeling of the motion, while others may enjoy the visual stimulation of watching the train go by. And that's from an excerpt from Brainwave Watch. Autistic individuals are often drawn to the visual stimulation and patterns provided by trains, as well as the rhythmic sounds and tactile feedback associated with trains. The interesting changes may be a way for individuals with autism to engage with their environment and experience the world in a way that is meaningful to them. So it's basically, and then it says in conclusion, it's therapeutic benefits help trains provide for individuals with autistic, can appreciate, etc. So it's really sort of interesting, as it's something that I don't think about. If you're narrowed interest, only certain things can give you stimulation or relax you, then obviously that's the narrowed interest. I have a wide variety of things that I like, but do all of them stimulate my interest? Probably not. But you can see why trains, especially model trains and anything to do with trains, because there aren't many things, I would say, that can cover all those bases, which obviously I've never thought of before, and you don't think of it. If I were to think of cars, yes, there are so many makes and models and specs and things for you to delve into, but it's not a repetitive motion. It's not predictable. Especially if it's road cars or riding in a car, it's not predictable unless you're going to drive around at the same speed and the same loop over and over and over. But even then, it's going to be sort of too far out of them. I suppose maybe drawing. That's something I could think of. This because drawing, you can be the same repetitive motion, like if you're watching somebody paint, it get the colors, things like that, I imagine. And I'm sure people will let me know in the comments, and will let me know. But yeah, I can see it. I can't think of too many things that cover all the bases, as explained to me in these excerpts, that trains and model trains do. And the thing is, you can get model trains at home. You can literally build a layout and it can do the same thing over and over and over and over, or it can, the colors can be bright and vibrant. They don't have to be dark, and you don't have to go for the weathered look. And I suppose that's why, like a train set, when I see the box and you see all the bright colored wagons and all the things that you get with it, I suppose that's really stimulating. As somebody buys loads of train sets, I do like the look of the box and how things are presented. But yeah, there aren't too many other things I can think of off the top of my head. You'll have to forgive me, because I am recording this in work. But if you do have autism, or you are someone on the spectrum, and you do enjoy the channel, just let me know. Let me know how you find things, and how you find what is it you like, and is this video close to the mark, or is it way off? Is it offensive? Am I being offensive? Am I being ignorant to the fact? I don't know, but it's something I'm going to continue having a look at for sure. Absolutely, definitely will do. I will make time to make sure I look into, because obviously as I go, I've been doing this for 6 years now, reviewing sets, and and I want my sort of audience to enjoy the videos, and hopefully if I can bring any sort of enjoyment to the subscribers we have here as we head towards sort of 1,500. May not sound a lot, but I didn't even think we would get past 100 subscribers. Then that would be awesome, to be honest with you. So yeah, a bit more of a serious video from me, but you don't want to be disingenuous and just add stupid video like clips and into something that's quite important. And yeah, I hope you can help educate me, and then I'll see you in the next video.